Now let's proceed on to altering and dropping tables. Here we see some syntax diagrams for the alter table command, the drop table command, and I've also added in the truncate command. The drop command drops an object altogether. The truncate command on a table or a cluster will remove all the data without writing any log entries, without removing the table. Once again, the grayed out parts are generally out of scope because they're more database administration. The red parts are to do with constraints, which we will cover later on. Dropping a table is very simple. Truncating a table is simply truncate table name. Note, you can always reference a database object by its schema. If you have access to another schema, you can obviously truncate a table in a different schema. The same applies to alter table, create table, and any DDL syntax command in Oracle. So what do we want to cover when we alter tables? We want to alter the columns in tables, and we want to be able to rename a table to a new table. Altering columns. You can add a column to a table. You can also add a constraint. You can modify a column, its data type, and the constraint state. You can drop unused columns, which implies that you can drop columns that were already set unused. You can rename a column, and you can simply drop a column. So what can we do when we alter a table? We can add columns, we can change columns, we can drop columns, we can rename columns, we can also rename a table. When dropping tables, we can drop or truncate a table. As already described, drop command drops a table altogether. The truncate table command will remove the data from the table without creating logging entries. When using the truncate command to remove data from a table, as opposed to a delete command, we don't create log entries. What this means is that the truncate command to remove all the data from the table cannot be undone. It cannot be rolled back. If you remember, we created all the concerts tables in a new schema called concert without any of the constraints. So let's go to SQL Plus. Here we are in concert. The user concert, not concerts. Let's verify that. We're connected as the user concert. What I would like to do is to make some changes. So for instance, let's go and add a column to the act table. So we're going to say alter table act add description varchar to 64. Now if we go and look at the act table, we find we have a column in there. So we've added a column. Let's modify that column. Alter act modify and let's put the not null constraint on there. Let's not be concerned about constraints for the moment, but the simple fact is I'm just showing you how to alter the table and describe the act table again. And I have the not null constraint. I could have actually done something without a constraint. I could have said alter table act modify description varchar. So I wanted to change the size to 128 characters. And we'll remove the constraint again. Well, because I didn't specify null, it did not remove the constraint, but it did change the size of the field from 64 to 128. Now let's use the drop command, or the drop column command. I need to put the table name in there. And I can't spell. I'll use type. Now the act table no longer has the description field.